What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different and go back to our roots, as we attempt to blow your mind with some obscure and interesting wrestling facts. No, these aren't the usual facts of Pat Patterson inventing the Royal Rumble or others such as there being 51 official WWE champions. Those are pretty boring by now and have been covered in many different videos and articles. We're going to look at facts that specifically haven't been covered widely. Now, some hardcore fans may know some of them, but surely you won't know them all. But here we go, guys. 50 mind-blowing WWE facts. Number 1. Trish Stratus isn't the one laughing in her intro. It's actually hip-hop artist Lil' Kim. Trish provides no vocals in the theme. WWE Hall of Famer Rowdy Roddy Piper's final match was in Juggalo Championship Wrestling on August 12, 2011. He tagged with Bob Orton Jr. to take on Mick Foley and Terry Funk. The inaugural WrestleMania almost became a complete flop due to poor ticket sales, that is until things turned around 7 to 10 days before the show. According to Sam Roberts, Vince McMahon was horrified when he saw Braun Strowman as one of the Rosebuds. In his words, he screamed, "Who is he? And why the fuck is he doing that?" After that, Strowman became one of Vince's personal projects, turning him into the monster among men. Former Hart Foundation member Brian Pillman has had over 30 throat surgeries before the age of 6 to correct pulps found on his throat. It got so bad that on one occasion, his heart stopped 3 times in one day. 16-time world champion Ric Flair was a black market baby in an illegal adoption ring. His birth name is widely believed to be Fred Phillips, but now he's legally known by the name Richard Morgan Flair. Vince McMahon had no idea Paul Bearer was a licensed mortician before giving him the gimmick of a pallbearer with The Undertaker. Stephanie McMahon is the first and only woman to have pinned The Rock. This occurred on 17 September 2001's edition of Monday Night Raw in a handicap match. The iconic SmackDown fist used on the SmackDown stage between 2001 to 2018 was 17 feet long and weighed 6,000 pounds. Terry Funk started wrestling before man had even stepped foot on the moon. Or in another perspective, the year he debuted, Mick Foley, Booker T, Rikishi and Paul Heyman were born. Seth Rollins was the first wrestler younger than WrestleMania itself to win the title in the main event on the show. The longest WWE match in history is a Gauntlet match held on February 19th edition of Monday Night Raw that lasted 146 minutes and 25 seconds. The shortest WWE match in history is 3 seconds, where Jerry Lawler teamed with Y2J to take on Taz and Mideon. Lawler won with a roll-up, the only move performed in the match. WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Snuka's son Sim Snuka, who wrestled in the WWE as Juice, was the cameraman who failed to catch The Undertaker from his dive at WrestleMania 25. Edge was involved in one way or another in the first 6 Money in the Bank cash-ins. He cashed in on John Cena, attacked John Cena during RVD's announced cash-in, defeated former Money in the Bank holder Mr. Kennedy for the briefcase, cashed in on The Undertaker that same week, got cashed in on by CM Punk, and lost a ladder match to Jeff Hardy, who was then cashed in on by CM Punk. He truly is Mr. Money in the Bank. China was a certified test of English as a foreign language instructor. She is fluent in Spanish, French, and German languages. Vince gave Ted DiBiase the $1 Million Man character with the belief that if he himself was ever a wrestler, he'd have that gimmick. Manager Jimmy Hart has a legitimate fear of snakes. In fact, Hart was so afraid of the snake being put on him at WrestleMania 3 that when Jake Roberts draped it over him, Roberts had to hold him down forcefully, but by doing so, Hart strained his neck. Before the Macho Man was legitimately bitten by the King Cobra on television, he asked Jake Roberts to let the Cobra bite him first backstage, as he was so paranoid of there being poison in the snake. A confused Jake obliged so that the angle could be done. Matt Hardy strongly dislikes mustard. Stone Cold Steve Austin was in the hospital the night before WrestleMania 19 due to a heart scare. Austin told that he'd overloaded on energy drinks and coffee before the event. However, his elevated heart rate was just a freak occurrence, and he was cleared the morning of the match. According to Bret Hart's memoir Hitman, before the Clique was officially formed, he was asked to be the leader. Prior to WrestleMania 2, Bobby Heenan was in a hospital in Tampa, Florida, having an MRI done. Heenan was discovered to have 2 fractured vertebrae, which doctors said would require 2 bone pieces to be taken from his hip and placed in his neck. The night before WrestleMania 2, WWF bookers told Heenan that if he didn't make it to Los Angeles for King Kong Bundy's main event match against Hulk Hogan, he would be fired. As we know, Heenan turned up. The record number of individual title reigns in WWE is 27. That was the Hardcore Championship being held by Raven. The second is R-Truth with 20 with the 24/7 Championship, although that could have changed by now. Referee Earl Hebner legitimately barricaded his hotel door with furniture after the Montreal Screwjob. Scott Hall has never appeared in a Royal Rumble match. Before becoming a professional wrestler, Rusev worked multiple jobs, including working at Wendy's, a taxi driver, a pizza delivery boy, a painter, and a construction worker. The Eater of the Worlds was a nickname given to Bray Wyatt by WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes. Dean Ambrose vs Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell 2014 was the first time in 20 years that 2 superstars had a one-on-one main event match in their 20s. The last time this had happened was at Survivor Series 1994 between The Undertaker, who is 29, and Yokozuna, who was 28. Brock Lesnar is the only wrestler to appear in WWE, UFC, and Madden football games. The Undertaker won his first WWE Championship in 1991 and World Heavyweight Championship in 2007, both in Detroit, Michigan, against Hulk Hogan and Batista respectively. The Ultimate Warrior holds the highest win percentage in WWE with 89.66%. That's 130 wins, 2 draws, and 13 losses. WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart's original Twitter handle was @BretSHart, all one word. It's now changed to @Bret Hart. John Cena and Samoa Joe appeared together in a wrestling training video all the way back in 2000. The two have never had a one-on-one match in the WWE. According to his biography Broken Hearts, The Life and Death of Owen Hart written by widow Martha Hart, she was told by Owen that he believed that Austin had faked his neck injury. It reads, "Being a seasoned, extremely cautious wrestler, Owen told me he executed the move properly. He would have felt horrible if he had hurt anyone, but he would have owned up if he'd done something wrong. In this case, he suspected Austin was being dishonest. He even told me weeks beforehand he thought Austin may fake an injury. Either Austin was using an incident as an excuse for some time off, or he truly injured his neck, which surgery would indicate." Owen figured the damage had been done prior to their routine match. Shawn Michaels was supposed to make a wrestling return at WrestleMania 17 and work a marquee match against Triple H. However, those plans were nixed when Shawn turned up to Raw in no condition to perform, and Vince wanted nothing to do with him until his sobriety. According to former WWE creative employee Kevin Eck, Justin Bieber came close to signing a deal with WWE to have a one-off match tagging with John Cena and The Big Show against the Wyatt family at SummerSlam 2014. Stone Cold Steve Austin's debut match was against Matt Hardy. The Miz is the only WWE superstar to hold 3 championships at once. With 22, Jerry Lawler has commentated at more WrestleManias than any other commentator. Michael Cole follows behind with 18, and Jim Ross has commented at 17. WrestleMania has never had more than 1 Canadian wrestle in a main event. Zack Ryder is a cancer survivor. The gobbledygooker was Hector Guerrero, the older brother of WWE Hall of Famer Eddie Guerrero. Former Spirit Squad member Kenny Dykstra has a clean win over Ric Flair. All of the wrestlers that appear on the WrestleMania Challenge video game cover are deceased, apart from Hulk Hogan. The Great Khali killed wrestler Brian Ong by accident when he performed a flapjack maneuver. Ong had suffered a previous concussion during the session, but trainers allowed him to carry on. Ong's family sued APW and was awarded damages of over $1.3 million. A female didn't win the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. Vince McMahon held the WWE Championship longer than Andre the Giant's, Rey Mysterio's, Kane's, Yokozuna's, Daniel Bryan's, Roman Reigns, and Randy Orton's first WWE Championship reigns combined. Brian Kendrick was an interim WWE Champion at 2008's Unforgiven pay-per-view, pinning Jeff Hardy during a championship scramble match. At number 50, the WWE had a black women's champion before they had a black male champion. WWE Hall of Famer Jacqueline won the women's title in September 1998, and The Rock won the WWE Championship in November of the same year. Did we blow your minds? While some might have known these facts, surely you didn't know them all. If so, please hit that like button. Would you like to see a WCW, NWA or individual wrestler versions? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.